Lamar Jackson did not participate in today's practice, and of course, that is the concerning news that we're going to be discussing on today's show because let's call a spade, ladies and gentlemen. This is bad. This is not very good. Now, I'm not going to get too dramatic on each and every one of you guys and say season's over, no shot he plays on Sunday, Lamar Jackson's done for the rest of the season. That's not what this video is about, but it felt like we were turning a corner yesterday because he was limited, but he was there. Right? That was the first time he had practiced on a Wednesday in 4 weeks. So it finally felt like he was going to get a full week of practice, which he hadn't had in a very, very long time. And I think that is partly due. I think that's part of the reason that you've seen some inconsistency with him over these last 3 games. Because let's just be real. The more you practice, the better you play. The less you practice, the worse you play. It does not matter how long you've been in the National Football League. That is life. It's not just football. It's all across the board. And we've seen him have some very nagging injuries over the entirety of this season. Week 4, obviously, he was out for 4 weeks with that hamstring injury. And then week 11, it was a knee. Week 12 was an ankle. Week 13, it was a toe. And now we're into week 14, and it's an ankle injury again. It's like he worked hamstring, knee, ankle, toe, all the way down the leg, and now it's making his way back up. In fact, I would not be surprised if next week on the injury report, he was dealing with an knee injury. It's making me so mad, my button's coming undone on my shirt. Ryan Wacker was the one to break the news today. Limited yesterday. Marks the 4th straight week. He has missed at least 1 practice. 4 straight weeks. Now, Todd Monken did speak after practice today, and he said that he credits Lamar Jackson for battling every single week, trying to get in a position to play despite nagging injuries. Now, I will admit, it's a little bit alarming that the coaching staff feels like they're finally talking about this, because for so long, they've been very tongue-in-cheek about it. They have not said much. They didn't really, reference it specifically. And then now you have the offensive coordinator, Todd Monken, out here calling them nagging injuries, which let's call a spade a spade. Again, that's what they have been. That's what they are. And I credit Lamar Jackson as well, right? I know he hasn't played well in the past 3 weeks, but he's out there. He's trying to play. He's in these ball games despite being injured. Some good news for you, at least. I want to give you some kind of good news on today's show. This is a video of him saying hi to Jason Tatum, who was at the facility today. No ankle brace, no tape, no anything, no boot. So let's just take something good out of this. At least he's not booted up or taped up. Okay? Try to find some positives in the cloud of negative right now. That pretty much has surrounded the Baltimore Ravens all season long. We have more to discuss on today's show, but make sure you are subscribed. 30 subs away from 42,000. That's all we need. 30 brand new Ravens fans to join the channel. Get us to a massive milestone, our biggest one yet. So if you have not joined us yet, make that change today. Hit that big red sub button down below for daily coverage right here on the Baltimore Ravens Rundown. Now, if necessary, right? If worse comes to worse, Lamar Jackson misses Sunday's game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, I would trust Tyler Huntley in a sense. I think he runs this offense very, very well. I think he's a positive when it comes to his ability to escape the pocket, scramble, get first downs, pick up gains with his legs. And you look at what he did in that one game he started so far this season. He beat the Chicago Bears, which at the time was like, yeah, whatever, it's the Bears. Guys, that is the only game the Bears have lost since week 2. Was a Tyler Huntley started Baltimore Ravens game. And so if he has to go in there and start that football game, I'm not going to start waving the white flag because I think you can beat the Steelers with Tyler Huntley. In fact, the Steelers have not looked that great this season, ladies and gents. They're 6-6 as well. Now, regardless if Lamar Jackson plays, or Tyler Huntley plays, or Lamar is limited, or he's 100% healthy and ready to roll, it should be a very big game for Derrick Henry. And the reason why, well, just 7 days prior, it was a very big day for the Buffalo Bills running back, James Cook. 32 carries, 144 rushing yards, 4.5 yards a carry. His longest of the day was 31 yards, 144 yards, 32 carries. The Bills went to James Cook time and time again, and he kept delivering. They could run that ball at will. And that's something that Derrick Henry knows about. when it comes to playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, look at the last two games that Derrick Henry has had against the Steel City. 24 carries in Week 17, 162 yards, 6.8 yards a carry. Then you go into the wild card game. 26 carries, 186 yards, 7.2 yards a carry. Guys, they gave it to him all game long, and he came up and he delivered. He had 24 carries and 26 carries in those games. Guys, against Cincinnati, he had 24 snaps. Not carries, snaps. That has got to change. If Rasheen Ali outsnaps Derrick Henry again, I will be calling for Todd Monken's job on Monday. I haven't done that yet. I've said maybe a conversation needs to happen, but if this happens again and Rasheen Ali has 5 more snaps to Derrick Henry, I am full force. Todd Monken has got to go. Fill in the blank for me. Derrick Henry rushes for blank yards against the Steelers. You let me know down below in the comment section. Weigh in with your answer. Coming up next, we actually hear from Isaiah Likely, who spoke on Mark Andrews' contract extension. Tight end one, signed a new deal yesterday, meaning most likely Isaiah Likely is not back in Baltimore in 2026, and he's got some honestly really cool things to say. Stay tuned for what that is. But if you're going to go anywhere, go to PrizePicks. Okay, download the PrizePicks app, use our code CLNS, get $50 in lineups. All you got to do is play your first $5 lineup. It's holiday season, ladies and gentlemen. It's the best place to get in on all the action. Let's cut to the chase, right? If you download the PrizePicks app today and use our code CLNS, you get $50 in lineups. All you got to do is play your first $5 lineup. It's the best time of the year for sports, bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes. It's all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there is one place where it feels good to be right, and that's PrizePicks. PrizePicks now is early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. I got a feeling this lineup is going to get off to a very hot start. Give me the more on Derrick Henry, 86.5 rush yards. The more on Aaron Rodgers, 19.5 pass completions. Zay Flowers going to have a big ball game. I'll tell you more about that tomorrow. Make sure you're tuned in. Give me the more on 64.5 receiving yards. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups. All you got to do is play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. The link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. So Mike Garafolo broke the news yesterday that tight end Mark Andrews has agreed to terms on a 3-year, $39.3 million extension, includes $26 million guaranteed. Now, everybody automatically, myself included, was A, surprised, and then B, automatically turned their attention to, oh my gosh, that means Isaiah Likely most likely is not going to be a Baltimore Raven in 2026, because we know they both came into this year being free agents. You pretty much said you're only going to sign one of them, and Mark Andrews got signed. Well, Isaiah Likely was asked about it after practice today, and he said, I just watched my brother get paid, so I just enjoy it. Now, obviously, he's media trained. He knows the things to say, but I feel like the sentiment is there. He's happy for Mark Andrews. Now, I don't think he's happy enough to not be upset a little bit by the situation, but still, like, he's putting a great foot forward. You got to love that attitude. I love it. I'm appreciative of it, especially in a locker room that feels like it's been a little bit tense this year. There's been a lot of unknowns, been a lot of frustration. So having that happen in the face of a time that's probably a little upsetting for you, I think it's a very, very good thing. Now, did they make the right choice? That's the question a lot of people are asking. Because if you look at the statistics, like Mark Andrews has 100 more rushing yards, but he has double the amount of receptions Isaiah Likely has. Isaiah Likely's average is better. Mark Andrews found the end zone. Isaiah Likely's a little bit of a bigger play guy. 43 yards was as long as 27 is Mark Andrews. Andrews is 4 years older than Likely. There's a lot of questions. But unfortunately, we don't have the answer to them, and Baltimore feels like they do. And they answered that question with extending Mark Andrews. I'd be shocked if Isaiah Likely is a Raven in 2026, and let's call a spade, okay? He came into this year, and he had the option to play his way into a new contract. And he didn't do that. Injury or not. Just is what it is. It's a business at the end of the day, and unfortunately, they were not getting quite the return on investment on Isaiah Likely as they hoped to. Where does he go next? I got 4 teams I need you to keep an eye on. Kansas City Chiefs, number 1. I would throw up live on camera if he ended up in Kansas City and was Patrick Mahomes' new Travis Kelce. That would make me sick to my stomach. The Washington Commanders are a team that has been throwing around. Zach Ertz is the guy right now in Washington, but he seems to be on his way out. Could get a new young toy for Jaden Daniels. Number 3, the Philadelphia Eagles have been talked about. They're not really happy with where they sit with Dallas Goedert. It's funny because they were in talks about possibly trading for Mark Andrews at the deadline. Obviously, they didn't make that happen, but they could get another Ravens tight end next season. And the last up, the New England Patriots. They've got a couple of good tight ends. This one doesn't seem as likely for me, but still a team to watch out for. That's going to do it. We're going to get on out of here. Make sure you guys got me followed on socials. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We'll see you tomorrow.